Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you guys how to draw the hair of an anime girl. So let's get started. First off, you're gonna decide a point of root or whatever. It's just a point that indicates where the hair of this character is gonna grow from. So I'm gonna give this girl a ponytail. So the root is gonna be about the top of the head, and you can say that you can see that the ears is grayed out. That's because the hair is going to be partly covering the ear. So I'm just going to draw lines that is pointing towards this point. You see all the curves are pointing towards that point. Okay, point here. Gonna try to give some variations. Both sides is gonna look a little bit different. Gonna be like this, and this side is gonna be just this. Okay, and then just draw basically some random curves that points towards this point. Okay, so when you think you have enough lines, just try to connect them, which is quite hard actually. You have to remember to be natural. I mean, make the hair look natural. Also give them a lot of variations. So just don't be monotone and give all the hair strands the same length and same size. You have to just vary, and then sometimes you can give her a flat flat bottom of a hair stand. That's up to you, but now it's pretty okay. See that? Try to give this the length of the place between the hair strands to be different too. And then I'm just going to draw a line from here, which is going to be the hair behind what's in front of the forehead, but it's gonna meet actually the line that goes from this hair is gonna go a little bit above the head. So there are many ways to draw the ponytail, but in this case I'm going to give her you can see the hair above her head. That's probably the most normal way to draw a ponytail. About like this. Try to give her some lines to indicate that it's coming from there. And then from this point you can draw some lines that goes from there. It's a little bit hard to see now, I guess, but from this point just draw some lines that grows from it. Maybe this line is a little bit wrong, and those lines should be having an invisible connection with these lines on the bottom. So this one is like connecting between these two, but it's there's a space between them, so like this. So these are not random, it's going to be following the lines you have drawn here. Okay, and then of course the ponytail is going to have a tail behind, which is going to be quite quick, I mean thick and also very easy to draw. It's just this, it's just like that. Maybe one more line there, one more line there. Yeah, that's pretty okay. Try to give them some variations, but in this case didn't vary that much, but that's okay. Now I can go ahead and finish the ears, which is going to be visible on the sides, and then you can probably see one line going from there too. Same goes for here, and that's about it. Okay, so, and of course I forgot this part of the hair, which is gonna be going from the sides. I know it's a little bit hard to see all lines very clearly now because I've drawn so many lines, but I'm going to trace all the lines now using a much harder pencil, and yeah, it's a 4B. I'm going to use a 4B and then retrace all lines. You can see 4B. What I just use is a 3H. So 3H is a really hard pencil, which is not gonna leave much of traces. It's gonna be the strokes is gonna be very invisible, soft, and this one is gonna be really dark. So yeah, let me just go ahead and then also one thing about this pencil is that you want to sharpen it quite well. When you're doing the sketch, it's not really important to have it sharpened, but when you're doing this tracing thing, remember to get it sharp. Really important, like really important. So you can see that I've drawn a lot of lines that are very vague. So you can, when you do the tracing, you can decide a little bit. You know, if you see a line that is a little bit wrong, don't follow it. Don't really. Of course, you should, have drawn it completely and perfectly when you do the sketch. But of course, when you see something wrong, you should go ahead and draw it the other way. And when I say about, when I talked about, trying to give it variations, of course it depends on the hairstyle. Some hairstyles is very monotone, and then you can actually just, of course there are some hairstyles that have the hair strands that are completely the same length, but for this hairstyle it's not gonna be like that. Of course you can experiment with some of your own styles, but since you're watching this, I bet you are quite a beginner, at least you view yourself so you probably want to stick with some traditional hairstyles for now, and of course develop some as you learn to draw. Develop some of your own styles. And of course I forgot to erase the sketch lines, so I'm gonna have a hard time erasing it, but that's okay. I'm probably not gonna erase it for this tutorial then, just gonna erase it after I've done the tutorial. And let me just finish the neck of this character. And there's one last thing that we need to do after we have done the tracing, and that is of course to give it shadows and shading. But meanwhile, I'm actually gonna erase a small amount of the lines. These lines I've drawn it really hard, so it's really hard to erase it now. Okay, so I'm just gonna be quick and give it shadows and shading. And first off, I'm just gonna shade a whole hair. Get a dark shade. Gonna have a dark hair. As you can see, my style of shading is just to give her, you know, diagonal lines, but not really lines, just a gradient. And some people like to give her lines. That's of course completely okay. It's up to you. Just a matter of style. And in either case, lines or gradient, you should keep in mind, try to always have the same pressure. Especially lines. Lines are harder to use because you have to be not only have the same pressure, but also to have the lines lined up very orderly, and that, in my opinion, is really hard. So I tend to stick with gradients. And then there are some people who always shadow with, lines with an outline to the shadow, which I sometimes do, but I don't always do. And it really depends on the style again. I'm gonna darken this even more because it's being covered, there's shadow in it on the tail. And then I'm gonna give shadow to the sides of this. No, not gonna give shadows to it. I'm gonna give shadows to this place, and then this place, and then the lower part of it. And also a little bit of this is gonna have some shadows. This too. And shadows on the side of the character, below the hair, every strand of it. Side of it, and of course some on the nose, but I hate giving shadows on the nose because it's so hard, it's so minimal. You have to give it like this small dot. It's really hard to give shadows to. And of course I'm gonna give shadows to the side of the neck, and we are done. Yeah, just gonna erase this one, and I hope you guys learned something new. And yeah, and if you like the video, just leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe to my channel, and I will be back with another video. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.